We're gonna try this. What the hell, you? What the hell, Leonte? What the hell, LeBron James? What the hell is Iris? Okay. There's construction, so if y'all hear, it's, it's just construction. I don't know what to do, so I might look away from y'all. So I'll be a little like, because I don't know where to look. Because if I look here, I'm just staring at myself, and that's kind of weird. If I can look at the camera, I'll look at y'all. But see, that's weird. I don't like that. I don't like not being able to see myself. Because I'm self-conscious. Surprise! I'm a woman and I'm self-conscious. What's new? F society, bro. Seriously, though. Because, like, I get that men get self-conscious, right? I get that. Don't get me wrong. I know men are self-conscious. We can tell, okay, because of your little fragile masculinity that just, we can tell. But, like, that doesn't mean you have to force it on us, you know? If something bad happens to you, why would you want other people to experience that thing? Like, I get it. Well, if I experience it, they get to experience it. They should know what it feels like. Bitch, I don't want to know what it feels like. You should be. That's the thing. Everyone has those sides. There's this. I'm tripping over my words. There's like some people, and it's hard. It's hard to be strong, and it's hard to be kind, and be good, because you have to be strong to do that, and it's hard to be strong. And so there's some strong people, if you want to call them strong or kind, whatever you want to call them, and they experience these things and they decide not to put it on other people. You know, like, I don't want you to experience that either. So I'm going to try and be kind. You know, I'm going to have my focus on you because I don't want you to experience what I'm going through right now. You know, like, you didn't do anything, you don't deserve that, right? And then there's some people, and I get it too. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm super strong because I do it to people too. I'm an asshole, right? To some people. Sometimes I'm an asshole. Like, I get it, it's hard to be nice to people when you're going through shit, right? And so there's some people, and they like, it's so, they're just lost. You know, it's just so easy to be mean. It really is. It's easy to be mean, you know, and so they don't try and be strong to be kind. You know, it's a lot easier to just be mean and say whatever you want. And so then they go and they push all this confidence issues on everyone else, and it's just a topple of events, and it just keeps going. I have a lot of opinions on society, and don't get me wrong, like, I love social media, right? But what are we doing? You know, like, I think it's so ingrained into our brains to judge ourselves and compare ourselves that we don't even think about it at this point. I'm sorry, I thought I saw a ghost walk by. It's about to come. I'm not headed to heaven yet. I'm not headed to heaven yet. And I've got one foot in the door. But before I can fly, I lose in the sky, right here in the old airport. And I'll be along when I finish my song and I'm shut down. And I'll be along when I finish my song and I'm shut down the band. And I play out my hand. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, it's so ingrained into our brains to compare ourselves to each other that we do it subconsciously. I know I do it subconsciously. I'm not like seeing. Sometimes I do compare myself to people. Everyone compares themselves to people, right? But I think same with like seeing women as lesser than men. That also I think is so ingrained into our brains because it's been such a long thing. Like, you know, inherited trauma, right? I have inherited trauma. A lot of people have inherited trauma from their grandparents, right? Their parents may not have that trauma, right? But it got passed down because it affected them so much. I don't really know how inherited trauma works, so I don't actually know like I need to look at that. I need to learn about like the chemical, like Is it because it's so messed, like it changes their brain so much that then, like a grandparent's, like grandchild, you know what I mean, that their brain gets changed too, or like they adopt that trait also. But I think it's like that. It's been so for hundreds of years, thousands of years, that women are lesser than men. And so, since it was that long ago, it just keeps repeating, and it's just, even when it's not taught, like it may not be taught in households, like, oh yeah, women and men are equal. It just goes unsaid, right? Like, there's some households, they don't talk about that. Like, you just continue on with your life. It's not like oh yeah, women and men are equal. Or you're not even saying women are less than men, or men are better than women. Like, they're not even saying that. So, but it's still like, is subconscious, And I think it's also it's so ingrained, and no matter how much people want to be like feminist or like uplifting, a lot of the times half the influencers I see that are trying to be positive, they still have that thing of like, women need to do better. Like it's still so ingrained that you really have to like sit back and look, and you have to, I know it's a lot, but you have to like think at your words and like, okay, what does that mean? What is that coming from? Like if I say this thing and it's meant to inspire people, where am I getting those words? Because you come up with your words somewhere, obviously, and all your words come from another place. That all your words, all your sentences come from something you've heard before. I'm not saying like you can't have an original thought. You do have original thoughts, but all those words you've heard from other people. And so all those contexts are in your brain, right? And I think people will say things and they don't actually sit there and sit with their words and look at what they mean, because you have to do that. You have to sit there, you have to go, okay, so I have this quote, I want to say this, but what am I taking that from? And sometimes you're just like, bitch, I don't know. But you really have to look at it, and you have to sit there and you have to know, okay, I'm thinking about this, but if I think about society as a whole, or I think about other people, how is this being taken? You know what I mean? I'm not saying you have to, and I don't mean that in a way of, oh, you need to you need to change things to others' perfection, or you need to change things so that nothing is like triggering, or nothing is like gonna upset people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you need to look at it, because a lot of things that people influencers are saying now, are big like social media people, they think are inspirational, or they think it's positive and helpful, but it's not. It may not be doing anything. It may just be kind of there, neutral. Could be doing worse, but it's not doing anything positive. It's just there, or it's making it worse. Now, there are some influencers that are like positive and actually kind of look at their words right, but everything is so ingrained, and I think that's the hardest part of it too. And you can't just like take that piece of your brain out, right? And so it's really hard, and it takes time. You have to sit there, or just like in your daily life, you have to be thinking about it all the time. That's the hard part, but I feel like once you start thinking about it a lot, and you really, for me at least, once I started really thinking about it, even for a few days, and I was really like deep diving in my head, like, oh wow, so that could have stemmed from that, and oh, that would stem over to that too, which connects to that, like, right? Interlinked, right? So, see. But for me, at least, once I started thinking about it really deep, it was just kind of like subconscious, and it just started going and going. Like you turn those brain things. Once you learn something, it's in your brain. So once you learn that thing and you really think about it, you've made a new like pathway, right? You'll think about that too. And so a lot of people think like, oh, I have to think about this for months, for years. Maybe you might have to, for it to actually like to have you start thinking about it more regularly, or just when I say more regularly, I just mean subconsciously. I should probably just say that instead of regularly. I don't really know how to say regularly anyways, so might switch to subconsciously. But anyways, it could be like a week of just constantly thinking about it, right? And that doesn't mean you have to think about the bad things. Think about the good things, right? What has this thought of women are lesser than men, what has that created? It's created feminism. It's created voting rights for women. If you think about it, right? This idea that women are less than men has created women to get jobs. It's created women to be created an opportunity for women to vote, for women to be doctors, for women to not be home all the time, or for them to be home all the time, for them to be a stay-at-home mother. It's created that too. It's created that opportunity. It's created options, right? And even though it stems from a bad thing, it still created that. It's like evolution, right? Everything stems from one single organism. However you think about it, whether it's from Adam and Eve or from a single organism or whatever you think, no matter what, it stems from one or two people, one or two living things. That's what it stems from, right? Everything goes back to one place, no matter how you think about things, no matter what your religion or what you believe in, everything goes back to one thing. And then it branches off and it goes and it goes. So if you believe in evolution, right, this one organism created humans, but it also created a plant, right? There's bad things that it creates. Yes, everything creates something bad. That's just nature. That's just simply nature, right? There's always something bad about it. There's nothing that's perfect. I don't even know what I was talking about, if I'm being honest with you. But yes, sorry. Oh my God, I sidetracked a lot. But even if it creates other bad things, it still goes back to the source. And the source is women being lesser than men. They're not. We're all the same. We're all the same. We're all the same. Right? Right? We're all the same. But it stems from that thought. It stems from that moral. It stems from that whatever, right? I was kind of running out of things to say. Sorry, my refrigerator making a weird noise. I just realized I don't pronounce things all the way sometimes. Refrigerator? Well, I did it. That was weird that time. Anyways. But like I was saying, you don't need to always think about the bad stuff too. Thinking about the good stuff will make you think about it just in general. Who says you have to think about the negatives? You don't have to. You can if you want to, You can think about the bad things that's happened, but always think about how we have combated that, right? Or how we will combat that. That's the difference between just being like, oh, I'm going to think about all the bad things that happen to women and all this and that. Okay, but what's changed since then? How would those women feel about it now, right? What's changed and what's going on right now, that they wouldn't like either. How would they feel about what's going on right now? And how did they manage to change their time? And how can we manage to change our time too, right? I think that's what I was talking. I'm so sorry. I know what I was talking about, but also I don't know what reason I was I don't know, guys. Okay. Thanks for watching, my little smoke yams.